Alright, and rolling. I should have started this earlier. I'll try and put a picture in of my cooker that I made before, because I'm just trying to make another one, and I thought I'd take you guys through the steps that I do to make it. First thing, obviously, take the top off, fill it full of water for a day, tip it out, do it again, let it sit upside down for a week, get the gas out. I don't advise anybody do this unless they're really confident with the cleaning of the gas bottle, flushing it out. As soon as you hit heat or spark on this thing, it's going to blow up if you're not careful. So, second of all, this got a bit bent when I was trying to get that tap out, because they are in there quite tight with a bit of Loctite or whatever they use. But yeah, removing, you can imagine, that was the top of the bottle. Remove that, grind it off, gone. Then I've marked a circumference around basically where it was welded on. It's a good sort of circumference for the legs. Using what do you call them? A compass or whatever they're called. Mark it around and center punch it, and just drill holes. Don't have to be any particular size, just small at the moment, but that's so that I can clean up where I've grinded this off, clean up those welds, and those holes will still be there as a mark for where the legs join on. This is actually the bottom. So the next thing I did is I took it over to the old drill press, which is sitting in the corner, and sat it in the drill press. Got the biggest hole saw I had, which is the same as the last one, which is this one here. You know, you can go to Bunnings and buy them. They're not cheap, so look after them. Use plenty of lube, because it's a good hard steel in these things. And I've again found the center using a compass. Found center Mark III. Found a center. You can Google how to do that, whatever. And drilled the top out. That's going to be where the heat comes out, and the base of the actual gas can is where you put your hot plate or your pot or your cooker or your grate or whatever you need to do. Next thing you do is lay them down flat on a surface. This is how I mark my door. You want to keep the door coming up over the bend in the gas bottle, this bend here. If you don't, if you go for a flat door, the heat tends to warp the door and it never really closes properly. So the way I do it is sit it on a flat surface, get some angle iron or even blocks of wood, and you can run your marker along there, put something flat across there, run your marker across there, and it gives you a half decent guide to follow. I wasn't as neat with this one as the last one. As you can see, the squiggled line is a bit of a mistake. I made the door, I thought it was a bit too big, so see what happens. That's what we're going to go with. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, that's going to be the door. So you can imagine that's upside down, 3 legs coming off it, door there. I've got some steel bar over there I'm going to use for legs. Yeah, I'll keep going with the filming. And okay, using a, where's it gone? Oh, using this grinder here, one of those real thin grinding discs. There you go. Carefully, hold on. Carefully cut around here. I still had a couple of oopsies, but you know, I'm not perfect. Now the trick is, from about there to there, same on the other side, here to here in the corners. I left it, it's just grinded, but it's still attached. That way, I'm going to weld some hinges on here. If you weld those hinges on straight with that line, and then cut that out, you're guaranteed the door will close where it's supposed to be. If you cut it all out and then try and weld hinges on, you're going to have all sorts of shit troubles, but that's what we do. So far I've done that. Now I'm going to get the grinding disc on and clean this up, ready for welding hinges on. I'm also going to clean up the welds that held the top on, just get them smoothed out. We're almost ready to go. All good. Okay, so this we're up to. We cleaned up for the hinges, half cut the door, as you know. Cleaned all them up. These are the tubes I wanted to use as legs. Those tubes just there at the back. these are the bolts I want to use so the legs screw on, but I haven't decided yet whether to weld the bolt in there. Hold on, whether to weld the bolt in there so the threads are on the legs, or weld them through the bottom of there. I normally drill that hole out, stick them through the other side so the thread sticks out, but they are prone to damage there. And if you pick it up, put it down, the threads get a little bit damaged, but you know, look after them, it's alright. It's as far as we've got today. I've just been sorting out nuts and bolts and possible door latches, and I've only got one hinge left of any decent size, so I'm going to have to go to Bunnings. I can't be bothered going up today. So that's it for today. I'll come back tomorrow and hopefully finish it off. All good. Alright, I've done a fair bit since we last videoed. I just couldn't video because the camera was playing up, so take you through what I've done. This is the unit upside down. I've got some galvanised water pipe reductions, they're called, reduction flanges or whatever. I've decided to use them against the bolts, something a little bit stronger. The thread's really fine, so we'll see how they work, but it seems to see the same pitch thread as what's in there, so you know, as you can see they're roughly welded on. Spatter here, spatter there, a few spatters inside. A few holes for air, two big ones, one in the middle obviously and a little one at the front. I didn't want as much coals to fall out the front, and I'm in the process of taking all the paint off, which is really hard. I normally burn these things and it turns the paint to a nice crisp powder, and it comes off in a flake with a grinder, or not a grinder, I use a steel book wire, you know, one of them wheels, steel wire brush wheels on a grinder. Works really well, cleans it up nicely. So I can just paint that up. What this is actually a tray that will go on the bottom. I'll show you that later, how it works. Essentially, okay, upside down you've got your three legs, the holes go through there, and it's a tray to catch the coals. The door, I decided to just leave the hinges as they were so I can change them if necessary. There's a couple of latches there, and I just stick a fire poker through that to hold it shut. Never really use the door too much, I just close it when need to. And again, this is upside down. That's a bit of old angle, it's actually angle racking stuff. Already had holes across here and here. I just flattened it out and put another row of holes just to hold the coals in. Again, that's there you go, not upside down anymore, but you'll get the idea. I'll assemble it later. These are the legs for it. I'm going to clean it up, give it a spray, hopefully get it assembled. I don't know, maybe this afternoon. We'll see how long the paint takes to dry, and I'll take some pictures running through assembly, and yeah, we're nearly there. Pretty happy with how it's coming out so far. Well, paint's coming off alright. Starting pretty good. I've only got that little bit around the rim to go. I just need a break. It's been about 45 minutes worth of cleaning up. I don't know what you guys can see. All the bits nearly ready for painting. I'll just give it a wipe over with alcohol, self-priming, high temp paint, and away we go. The initial burning. just a small tiny fire in there actually, just to warm it up. The paint's still fresh, almost dry, but it's, yeah, it's first time, so apparently you're supposed to go easy. There might be a bit of oil and gunk inside from machining it, but it's going to burn off. Get rid of that stinky stuff and we'll all be good. It's only tiny, just a couple of bits of pine in there. Seems to be breathing alright. All good. All good, all good. Might as well boil something, eh?
Do not forget guys. Like, share, subscribe.